Hey everyone, good morning to all. So if you guys don't know already, that Fire Emblem Cipher had a live streaming event last night for people in the US, and they announced a lot of cards coming out in our next set. So I don't know if any of you missed it or you saw it, but yeah, I just wanted to go over what they announced because they actually announced quite a bit. So yeah, that's the event. It was on NicoNico. I don't know if they had a recording of it yet, but if I find one, I can put it in the link for you guys. So Xander seemed to be the MVP of this next set for the black support anyway. So these are the cards that were already announced for us. We got our level 1 Xander, which gains 10 when you have one face-up orb, and we got a level 3 Xander, which was the same version of the promo that came out from our last box. So nothing too special here, but we did get that new art for our level 3 Xander. And then this is the main card that was announced. It's actually a really interesting card. So it has a Dragon Vein effect that allows it to have a lower promotion cost. So when you have a face-up orb, it decreases the cost by 1. So essentially, if you have 3 face-up orbs, then its promotional cost would only be 1. So that's a really interesting effect, and so they're trying to introduce this new thing where you flip your orbs face up. Yeah, so this is going to be a card that's going to try to abuse it. The next thing it has is that this is like the main thing about it, I guess, that this card and your opponent's main character will gain a 30 attack if you have a face-up orb on the field. So you can use the first effect to flip one of your orbs face up, and then the second effect allows you to make this card and your opponent's main character 100 attack. So the battle will pretty much be only between this guy and your opponent's main character, because the other cards generally won't have enough power to get over it unless you're using cards like Selena or Camilla or something like that, or you crit. So yeah, it's a pretty interesting effect, and his last effect allows him to gain range by flipping an orb face up. So you can do that, and then all your cards actually will gain range for the turn. Not sure how useful that is, but it's a pretty interesting effect nevertheless. And unlike a lot of main characters, these effects actually stay even when he's in the back line, so he doesn't have to be in the front for these effects to be active, which is really interesting. Our next card that was announced was Elise. So her effect she has a normal healing effect, but she's going to be playing into that new gimmick that whenever she's destroyed, she can actually flip one of your orbs face up. So early on, this is going to be a pretty good effect to decrease the amount of your promotional cost for your Xander. So I think she's definitely going to be a needed card for this deck, because she seems like she's one of the only cards that allow you to flip cards face up. That's not Xander, so yeah, and Elise is already a good card, so I'm not sure how this is going to affect the level 4 super rare Elise that's already out. But yeah, I don't really see a reason to not use her. The only downside is that she's weaker by 10. And then we got Forest on the right side. Forest is an interesting card. He lets you swap out your orbs, kind of. So you can pretty much place an orb from your hand to your orb area and then take an orb. So if you have a face-up orb that you don't want face up anymore, you can always swap it out and put a card face down. But he doesn't let you put cards in your orbs face up, so it's only face down. And next we got a Peri. So her effect allows you to destroy one of your own cards, and then she can either gain attack or gain range, but you can use both of their effects. It's not that great, I don't think. You can get her to be like 80 attack, which is pretty good, or 90 attack, but I think destroying your own cards is a pretty hefty cost, and so far from what they announced, there's not many cards that generate hand advantage. So if you destroy all your cards with these new effects that they're announcing, then I don't know how you're getting these cards back. And that's kind of like with this next card too, Beruka. So you can flip a bond with her and destroy herself to destroy one of your opponent's cost 1 cards. So like I said, destroying yourself is really interesting. I just really hope they announce more cards that let you get card advantage, because most of the cards that were announced for the black cards are self-destruction cards. So next we got Iridi. So her main effect that's pretty interesting is that you can tap her and then draw a card essentially, and if it's not a white card, you have to discard a card. So this is going to be playing into the whole mixed deck, the union skill thing that was introduced the last support set for black and white cards. She's a good card for getting hand advantage, but unfortunately you do have to mix white cards in, so that doesn't necessarily help out this whole black engine thing happening right now. It's an interesting card. I mean, there's no way to really guarantee that you draw a white card though, so but at least you don't have to flip it or flip a bond face down. And then our next card, we got Shura. So if you have a white card in your bond area, you can flip 2 to heal. But unlike a priest, you don't have to tap him. So yeah, nothing too special. We got Midoriko. Is that her name? She can kill. You can tap her and then make a card gain 10, and then that card dies at the end of the battle. So another self-destruction card. I don't think she's going to be used too often, but she has a new support skill, which is pretty interesting. So after you attack with her, you can actually move her to the back, or something like that. Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting effect. I don't know if it's that usable. And then last, we got Nyx. So if you guys noticed, she's another Dark Mage unit with another of those Dark Emblem things that make your opponent discard cards. But the interesting thing is that she's going to be 50 attack for a level 1. So that's going to be really high for a level 1. And her effect is that you can play, when you play her, you have to destroy one of your own cards in order to play her. So although this may seem like a bad effect, you can probably combo her with some cards that are going to be announced later on, like the ones that are announced right now, like Elise. You can probably destroy your Elise and then get Elise's effect to go off. She seems like an interesting card. I don't know if I'll use that many of her, because that self-destruction card is making you neg 1. And your opponent's probably going to end up destroying the Elise anyway, somehow, if you just put her in the front. So I don't know how relevant Nyx is, but if your opponent doesn't want to destroy your Elise, then you can always force it to happen by using her. And next, we're on to the yellow cards. So for this card right here, Dori, whenever you play her, you can actually swap out your bonds, which is really interesting. So if you guys don't know, yellow cards are going to be playing around with the bonds. The cards in the bond zone, there's going to be this new bond skill thing. But yeah, so her effect actually allows you to swap out your bonds, so you can put one card from your retreat area onto your bond, and then destroy one of your bonds. So it's pretty interesting. I think you destroy a face-up bond though, unfortunately. If you can destroy face-down bonds, that'd be pretty cool, because essentially that means you're unflipping bonds. But regardless, she's a mage. And then your Sigurd is actually going to need her to be on the field to gain that effect where he gains attack. And I'll talk about that later, but that card was already announced, so. And then we got this card on the right. Her name is Adine. So yeah, you can flip one bond card, and then next, the card on the right is Adine. So you can flip 3 bonds, and then essentially you're getting a heal sort of from your bond area, and then you can place another bond down. So it lets you kind of rotate your bonds out, but the cost is kind of steep at 3, but essentially you're only playing 2 because you're getting a refresh on your bond. So in the end, you're going to be flipping 2, but yeah, it's a pretty interesting card. I think I'll use her. And then next, we got the girl on the left. Her name is Fairy. She's going to have a rescue ability, which is always good. It's nice that they announced a rescue ability for this deck already. And then the one on the right, her name is Maya? Something like that. But it's a flyer that gains attack if you have flyers on the field. It's not too relevant. Just another 30 support card if you need another 30 support. And then the one on the left side, we got Medale. It's a card that gains attack. It's an archer. Unfortunately, it's level 2, so it's probably not too usable since it doesn't have a support skill, but it's there. And then we got another knight on the right. That card's not going to be very useful. I think they need to redo the knight class somehow, because knights are just kind of bad. Having a 10 support, they should have made it 20 support, honestly, but having 10 support and a really weak attack just makes them worse than flyers in pretty much every way. And then next we have an interesting new strategist. So this is Elvis. He has a strategies emblem, kind of like Robin and the new Soren, the tactician's emblem, whatever you want to call it. The card's an interesting card. So pretty much you can send one of your cards from your bond zone to the graveyard, and then you can move one of your opponent's cards to the front. So it's a pretty good effect, but the cost is kind of high. So during late game, when you have a lot of face down bonds and you really don't want to like play that many cards because you don't have that much hand left to play that many cards, it's really not a bad card to play this guy. And since him being a main character, I think he's probably gonna get a super rare card eventually, or maybe in this pack too. So I think he's gonna be a pretty relevant card. And next we have Finn. So Finn was already announced before this event came out. He has a bond zone effect where you can boost Lance users. Interesting card. But this is the new artwork for the Plus version. And then next we got Sigurd. So the one on the left was the one that was the promo for our last box, and then the one on the right was the card that was already announced. So it was announced like 2 days ago or something. It's actually a pretty interesting main character. He gains 10 attack if you have Dori in the same row as him, and then also all your front row units gain 10 if you have this card or any Sigurd in your bond zone. So yeah, you gotta put a copy of him to the bond zone somehow, either manually or by a card effect, but if you do, his effect is really good if you can keep that card face up. And then we got this girl on the left. Her name is Ira. So her effect is that you can flip it face down from your bond zone, and then a sword unit that's attacking, its attack can't be blocked except by the main character. Unfortunately, she's 10 support, she is level 2, so I don't know how relevant she's gonna be. If her effect applies to main characters as well, so that you can kill a main character without them being blocking, then that card would be very good, but you can't, so I don't think she's gonna be a very good card. And then there is the regular art for Finn, the not plus version of it. And yeah, so that was all the cards that were announced. They announced some cool artworks for the next set. They have Hector and Ellawood and some other cards, but yeah, this is looking like a really interesting set. I wasn't very interested in the yellow cards, but so far the whole gimmick for the yellow set actually seems pretty interesting, so I'm actually interested to see how they go with that and how that turns out. And so yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. That was what was announced essentially. If you guys missed the event, Serene's Forest, there's people that are working and they're putting these translations on there, so if you want to take a look at it, I will leave a link of that in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.